What is up, guys? It's Wraith back with another video. Now in today's video I'm going to be talking kind of a controversial topic about how if Ninja will actually make the World Cup. And a lot of people say he will because he was one of the best Fortnite players in the world and still is to this day. And a lot of people say he just doesn't have that competitive edge towards him, and he doesn't have that actual pro play style that a lot of people play, and there's only so many spots open in the World Cup, so a lot of people don't think he'll make it. So I'm going to basically break down a lot of the facts and actually show you guys why I think he will or won't make it. So make sure you guys stick around at the end of the video to actually hear what I have to say, if I think I'll make it and what a lot of people think if he'll make it or not. So basically, to talk about Ninja, is he's an unreal pub stomper. Like, that was never the issue with him. He's always been able to drop 20 bombs. He has one of the best win ratios, best KD, best wins in all of Fortnite, or most wins in all of Fortnite. He's an unreal pub stomper, but in the early days, that was all you really needed to be known as a good player. Like, you didn't really need to be able to play scrims because scrims weren't even a thing or anything yet. And in the early days, he decided that when scrims first came out, that he wanted to spend more time at home with his wife Jessie, and he didn't really want to go to LAN events. He didn't want to play professionally. He just wanted to play as a content creator because he decided it was more like worth it for him at his stage of his life, as well as it was a little bit more easy and there would be more money involved. So he decided that he would never play competitively, but now obviously with this $30 million tournament looming, he's changed his mind a little bit, as would anybody. And that means that he's been months and months and months behind in scrim practice, in arena practice, in pop-up cup practices, as everything. So basically, if you look at someone that's such as Tfue, who's known as one of the best players in the world, or Mongrel, or whoever, they've been practicing scrims all the way since Season 4, since scrims actually first came out. And they've been grinding scrims, figuring out rotations, figuring out how to win late game, how to figure out when there's 15 people left in a moving circle, how to actually win that. So he's only had a month of scrim practice, if that, because he's been grinding the duo arena cup with the reverse 2K, which I'll get onto in a bit. But he's only had so much scrim practice, which I think is very bad for his style right now, for competitive wise, because if you don't have that much scrim practice, it's going to be very hard for you to compete against players who have been practicing for 9 months. Doesn't matter how good your game mechanics are. But we're going to talk about his pros and cons right now really quickly. So I'm just going to go out and say his mechanics are absolutely unbelievable, and that kind of translates because of PUBG, H1Z1, all the other battle royales that he was in that you guys know of, that he was probably one of the best players in the world for almost all of them. And his aim, his IQ during fights is just incredible. It's probably honestly one of the best in the world. His IQ in fights are probably one of the best I've seen. He's kind of like Cypher PK in that area, but he also has unbelievable aim and knows how to hit every single one of his shots. The only problem with that kind of stuff is his building and editing lack a good amount. Like, comparable to other players, such as, like I said, Mongrel or someone like that, his editing is not even close to being on par with the pro players, and his building's not even close to being on par. Like, they're above average, both of them. They're good. But like where you need to be to actually make it into the World Cup, I don't think he's there for editing and building. And sure, you won't really need building that much during the qualifiers of the World Cup, because most fights aren't going to go up, use all your mats and go into the sky, because you'll get third party instantly. But editing, I feel like, could be a big problem for him, honestly, endgame during fights, because people will be able to edit on him. He won't be able to edit on them as quickly. And also just rotating zones, you need to be able to edit quickly, instantaneously, not screw up your edits. And I just don't think that his edits are on par enough to actually be able to play at this high of a level. Because if your edits are probably one of the most important things endgame, as well as your aim, because there's so many people around. You need to be quick editing, you need to be rotating properly. So I think the biggest weakness he's going to have is editing as well as rotation, because like I said, without all the scrim practice and without doing scrims for months and months and months, his rotation IQ and when he needs to rotate, when he needs to take on fights endgame, when there's 35 people left, I don't think his IQ is on par with some players that we've seen. And remember, there's only going to be 2, maybe 1 spots. Actually, for East, I guess he plays East. There's going to be 4 spots solos and I think 2 spots duos. So think about it. He may do really well, but I don't think he's gonna do that well in the solos. But now if we're gonna talk about duos, actually, this is a completely different story, because with duos, you need to rely on your partner as much as your own style, I guess, because if you die, you need to rely on your partner. And Ninja's actually scooped himself a very good partner, which is Reverse 2K, if you guys didn't know, who's a FaZe member, and he is filthy endgame. He's maybe one of the first players to actually start scrims. I know he was like admin in FN Pro League, he was admin in Mayhem, like he was all around the map for when scrims first started. And this is what actually might make Ninja be able to compete in the World Cup. And basically they have, like, to make it easy for you guys, they have 2 different play styles. So Ninja, like I said in the beginning, is a complete pub stomper. He's very, very good at dealing with fights mid-game, early game. He has unbelievable aim, which helps him be able to fight those guys in unbelievable fighting IQ, except his end game lacks. But where Reverse 2K comes in, his early game and mid game is good. Obviously, he's still a pub stomper, but the part where he comes in is end game, so he can call out the rotations for Ninja. Even if he dies, he can call out what Ninja needs to do. He can tell him, okay, go left side of zone instead of right side of zone. He makes the calls. As I was watching them on Twitch, Reverse 2K on the end game actually did make a lot of the calls. Ninja still, because he's had a month to learn, and he probably naturally knows a lot. He still makes callouts, but their main guy endgame is kind of Reverse 2K, which I think could be a huge difference, and that could actually be the deciding fact as to say if he made it on duos. And actually, they've proven it quite a bit, because in the arena duos, they've actually come up to, I think, 430 points that I've seen. And actually, recently, Reverse 2K dropped a 20 bomb in that point area. So, like, if you think about it, Ninja lacks the end game but has the pub stomping, and Reverse 2K has the pub stomping, not as much as Ninja but still a good amount, and also knows how to play end game, which with both of them working together, even though they're not polar opposites but kind of different play styles, you want that in an actual duo partner, because if you can figure out how to figure out your guys' play style and work together using it, like if one guy's a pub stomper, one guy's end game, and you guys figure that out and actually build off each other's playing styles, you have a way higher chance of actually doing well. And this is why their partnership, I think, is so good and actually comparable to a lot of pros. So in overall, if I would have to say Ninja would make the solo World Cup, I'm gonna have to say no, because there's just so many things he lacks on right now, because he focused so much on just the the content creator side of the play instead of actually competitive. His rotations aren't the best, his turtling isn't the best, his edits aren't the best. Again, though, he does have very good aim and fights, so I could see him finishing high in the qualifiers, maybe top 1,000 even, just because of his natural skill and talent. But I do not think he will be able to qualify in the solos. I just think he's too far behind, honestly, to be candid, I guess you could say. Although in the duos, I think it's a completely different kind of scenario. I don't think they have the highest chance, Reverse 2K and him, making the World Cup. Like, I don't think they're ever going to be able to consistently place high. But I think if both of them play out of their minds, and both of them have their comms, their aiming, their editing, their building on point just for that day, like a lot of people do, just randomly have one day on where they're absolutely filthy and they absolutely, everything's going right for them, then I think they have a slight chance of actually making the World Cup. They might not have the best chance, but it's better than a lot of players would have just playing. But yeah, basically, solos, I don't think he will be able to make it. Unfortunately, I would love to see him compete at a pro level, but if he decides to continue down this competitive route and actually continue to practice competitively, he might be able to make it for the next tournament, because he's just so naturally gifted. But I'm going to say, if he was to make anything, it's going to be in the duos for Reverse 2K, but not the highest chances. They're basically going to have to play out of their minds and absolutely do everything perfect in the game for them to actually make it. But yeah, so hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure you smash that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you comment what you want in a future video. I read all your guys' comments and try my best to reply to all of them. If I don't get to you, don't worry, but I will in the future, or I will, if you comment again, I will guarantee get back to you. Yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys for watching, and have a good one. Bye, guys.